Now, recent opinion polls suggest a majority of people are in favour of legalising euthanasia for the terminally ill. Comedian, actor and disability rights campaigner Liz Carr strongly disagrees and is making that point in her show, Assisted Suicide, the Musical, at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival.
I'm choosing choice, so are my girls and boys. Choice is king, there's no denying. Cut my choice and I'll start crying.
It's all about choice, and Liz Carr joins us in the studio. Liz, I'm so
Hello.
glad you've chosen to join us this morning.
Thank you. It was a very conscious choice. Thank you for having me.
Excellent.
I appreciate it, yes.
It's a hilarious title, of course, putting the tag, The Musical,
yes,
on the end of this particular debate. Why?
Because I am somebody who opposes, from a disability rights, a lot of disabled people, particularly in the UK, but internationally as well, have great concerns about legalising physician medically assisted suicide. But you often don't hear those views. I had never seen a TV programme, I'd never seen a piece of theatre that took my position, other than if it's religious. We always think the opposition's religious, and it isn't, necessarily. There are many people who do oppose. So I thought, you know what, if it doesn't exist, then I better make it. And so it's been 6 years in the making, but I'm thrilled to be able to bring it out and just create a conversation.
When you first thought about voicing your concerns through this musical, did you have second thoughts, Liz, about how this would perhaps go down?
Yeah, I was really frightened, actually, because often when you say, I don't want this subject to be legalised, I don't want to give doctors or the state more power over life and death, you get called some quite horrible things. It's like, you must be lacking in compassion. Why would you stop me and my right? So it's quite hard to put yourself front and centre of something. So I was really quite scared. But then I had an amazing director and I really trusted that we would do it right, and we do. We're not, this is, despite the title, it's not out to offend, it's not out to point the finger about anybody's decision. It's just to say, let's look at this subject in all its complexity.
So, Liz, where does the issue of disability rights rub up against euthanasia? What's the tension point there for you?
I think, certainly, I can't speak about over here, but in the UK, when we discuss this subject, the people who propose it and want it are usually disabled but not terminally ill. And, of course, most people who become or are terminally ill do have some element of disability. And what happens is, medically and in a public view, it's often one and the same. So I've had people say to me, my goodness, if I was like you, I don't know how I'd cope, to be honest. There's such negativity around disability that if I said that I wanted to die, it wouldn't take much for my doctor to say, you know what, I can understand that. I can see it would be a compassionate thing. So there's such, I think we have such negativity and no equality in many respects as disabled people, and there's such a fine line between the two areas that it's very much a disability rights issue.
Okay, so you're worried it's a bit of a thin edge of the wedge?
I think, yes, absolutely. And I travel to all the countries around the world where it's legal. I've been there, I made a World Service documentary on it. And, that does happen. And it happens in the name of equality. It's not some slippery slope. It's actually, we only have it for terminally ill people, and then other people will say, it should be for people with dementia. That's not fair. Or it should be for people who are disabled because they've got to live the rest of their life. Do you see what I mean? So in the name of sort of rights and equality, it ends up being extended.
I guess where you want to colour the argument then is encouraging us to, or forcing us really, to look at the fact that no matter the disability, someone's still capable of living a full and rich life.
I think that's why the disability rights perspective is useful here. Most of us have lived with the kind of things that people are scared of. I understand that if you become disabled or ill, you don't want pain, you don't want suffering, whatever that means.
Sure.
And people are afraid of loss of dignity and loss of autonomy. And lots of us live with those experiences. I can't go to the loo on my own, I can't do many things on my own, but I know that there's still a sense that that doesn't make me undignified. I also have a great experience of the medical profession because of that, and great, they saved my life, but also they're fallible, they're human beings, and we're putting a lot of power over to them as well.
I guess those who promulgate the argument in support of euthanasia would say, but that's fine, you're a sentient thinking human being, you have control and you have, dominion, if you like, over your own life and your own choices. But someone who is in a position who really just doesn't have any of that anymore should be entitled to make that decision to end their life.
I think the problem is we have to go, are the number of people that want that worth the potential risk? Are the safeguards, the potential safeguards, will they be strong enough? And that's a real moot point. We don't know if that's possible. Most countries don't have a capital punishment because just that one risk of one mistake.
Getting it wrong once.
And if you think about it, that's after a whole court case and lawyers involved. And then this is just 2 doctors assessing one person behind closed doors in a doctor's surgery. I mean, the potential for, and I'm not talking even conscious abuse. I'm just meaning, how does a doctor assess if somebody's not being coerced or somebody's doing it voluntarily? It's a tough call, and that's it. This is complicated. I want a good death for everybody. Surely that's what we all want.
And just, and finally looking at that musical from the clip there, a few great songs and, dare I say, a bit of liberating humour.
Yeah,
for you
I mean,
as well.
please, you know, because we're talking quite seriously about this.
I know, you better make this damn show funny, you know, come on.
Look, there are songs called Suicide Tourist, Put Me Down, you know, so yes, there really are some quite, We Don't Let Animals Suffer. Palliative Claire is probably my favourite song in the whole
That's
thing.
a good character.
And Palliative Claire is amazing. It's a comedy, it's also really thought-provoking. What you will do, if you come and see it, is you won't leave without debating it. And what we're asking is, I really want Daniel Andrews to come and see it. I'm saying, come on, don't be afraid. Let's just have this debate and have a big debate of all perspectives. And I want him, we're going to have a chair ready for him.
All right, so that'll be
with
the
his
ongoing
name on
gag.
it.
OK,
Daniel
well,
Andrews, for those who might not recall, of course, the Premier of Victoria, we'll see if we can get a hashtag trending.
Daniel Andrews.
Daniel Andrews, go to the performance. Hey, Liz, really nice to meet you. Thanks
Thank
for
you very
joining
much.
us today.
Thank you
Thank
for the
you.
time.